So I'm just going to talk, as Sarah said, about the no audit. It was on Mulberry 2, which is a 3-week treatment unit, that Jane Poppet and Terry Hill first came up with the idea of the no audit. And this is really a tool that promotes reflective space. From time to time, inevitably, staff do have to say no to patients, and this can cause great distress. However, each occasion, it does provide an opportunity to reflect and actually to create a non-judgmental space. Staff are encouraged very much to think whether they could have said yes, and if not, whether they could have met that patient halfway. And if they had to say no, did they say it in the nicest possible way and offer that person an explanation? And that leads to a culture of first say yes. And if the answer is no, then the patient gets a sense of what would have needed to have happened for staff to have said yes. And this is really important because it captures hope and it helps that patient to chart a way forward. And that's particularly in situations where the request is for something where the answer could have been yes. For example, leave from hospital being contingent on the progress that they make. So we've come up with the REFLECT acronym on the slide, and that's really just a way of remembering what needs to be thought about. And really, reflecting on those questions is just an encouragement for staff to think more about their practice. And it's certainly not about ignoring policies and procedures, which are there for a purpose, but it can sometimes get to a point where policies actually trump common sense and clinical judgment. However, if staff are supported to take a view and put patients first, while at the same time keeping an eye on what it means for all the other patients, there can be huge benefits. And I'd just like to give a couple of examples now. On Springbank Ward, patients are invited into what were historically the staff areas, such as the offices. They might be invited in for a chat or to help with small tasks like doing the staff rotas. They're encouraged to write their own care plans and progress notes on ward computers. And this gives them a sense of responsibility and control, and it gives them confidence too. And as long as obviously there's no confidential information that's visible and a judgment is made on risk, on the benefits and the risk, the benefits are huge. And as Jane Poppet would say, we are a ward rather than a group of patients and a team of nurses. And the other example is pets on wards. Understandably, people want to see their dog, but pets are not routinely allowed due to infection control. However, it is known that animals are one of the best therapies and have an amazingly calming effect on the ward. Staff consider the risks, and when you think about it, the reality is that you're far more likely to catch a cold from someone else than you are to catch a flea from a dog. And they decided that the benefits far outweigh the risks as long as the other patients don't mind. So looking to the future and thinking about encouraging these reflective spaces more widely would mean implementing these initiatives systematically. There would be some practicalities to consider. For example, it would involve setting up a posting box so that patients could post their no slips to report the occasions when someone had said no to them. And for this to be embedded in everyday practice, there would need to be discussions about the reoccurring themes built into reflective practice sessions, supervisions and handovers. Evaluating and monitoring incidents would be a way of measuring progress over time. So this is a beautiful way of enhancing patient-centred care and changing the nature of day-to-day interactions. And we'd like to collect examples of the no audit and for this tool to be used systematically on other wards. People who hear about this initiative are always most impressed, so there's a great opportunity to take this work forward in CPFT. So we would really be delighted if anybody would like to volunteer to take on the role of a no audit coordinator. So please come and sign up.
There's a challenge. Thank you.